welcome to another episode of the Sean Farrell podcast. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. Jesus Christ died and he rose again. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay. So, last month was Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, and October is Depression Awareness Month. Okay. And so, I've been seeing some posts about depression, just some things to look for: sleeping too much, sleeping too little, not having that appetite, having or eating too much, not showing up for work, not showing up for school, and low motivation to do anything. Depression saps you of everything. It just robs you of everything. Your motivation, your willpower, just saps everything out of you. And it's no fun. It is absolutely no fun having depression. And it is Depression Awareness Month. And been seeing some posts about what to look for, the signs and the dangers of depression. Okay. So the NBA season is about to fire back up again in a couple of days. And there was a guy who used to play for the Miami Heat. His name was Duncan Robinson. Okay? Duncan Robinson. And he started out with the Miami Heat. He now plays for the Detroit Pistons now. Okay? Signed with the Pistons in the offseason. So this upcoming season, in a few days, he's going to be playing for the Detroit Pistons. Okay? So, started out with the Heat in 2019. As a rookie, he averaged 3.3 points per game. But then that went to 13.5 points per game in 2020 to 13.1 in 2021. He shot 44.6% from three in 2020. And in 2021, 40.8%. Okay. And he hit he hit three pointers a game. Three pointers a game. Okay. So that was Duncan Robinson. He was having a pretty good start to his NBA career. However, at that same time, you never know what these athletes are going through off the court. Okay. You never will know what these athletes are going through off the court. And I talk about it all the time. Dak Prescott losing his brother to suicide. Solomon Thomas lost his sister to suicide. Kevin Love deals with depression. Hayden Hurst almost attempted to end his life by suicide. Pro athletes, okay, who have had their share of mental health struggles. Okay. So Duncan Robinson's brother, Eli, his older brother, Eli, was diagnosed with schizophrenia in 2021. And his brother, Eli, ended his life by suicide last April. Duncan found it hard to balance being there for his brother and playing in the NBA. Because in the NBA, you're playing 82 games, and you're playing 82 games from late October, and if you're in the playoffs and get to the NBA Finals, you're playing from late October to mid-June. Okay? You're playing from late October to mid-June. Okay, so that's grueling. And in the NBA, you're averaging 4 games a week. You're averaging 4 games a week. That's how grueling the NBA schedule is. found it hard to balance being there for his brother and playing in the NBA. Duncan Robinson said this. The real challenge of that was the volatility. He would call me, his brother. He would make sure I was safe. He made sure I was okay, and then he could hang up. And sure enough, maybe 15 to 20 minutes later, he called me again. So of course, in that stretch, I think probably the greatest challenge was finding ways to compartmentalize and still try to perform. Okay. So Duncan Robinson would turn his phone off 90 minutes to focus on the game. Duncan Robinson says his brother was not depressed. He loved life. He had relationships. Okay. His brother did have help. He fought well. But those thoughts that were running through his brother's head, they were torturing him every day and would not go away. So, his older brother Eli heard voices that kept telling him his family was in danger. He called Duncan before and after games and was worried how Eli was on the other end of the line. Excuse me. So I guess while Duncan was playing an NBA game, I guess in the back of his mind, he was wondering how his older brother Eli was doing. But he could still focus well enough that he could concentrate on the game, on the task at hand. Okay. So Duncan Robinson said, imagine doing mundane tasks, driving to work, doing that, and just being entirely tortured, hearing voices in your head all day long. And he just had enough. Yeah. He just had enough. And his brother ended his life by suicide last April. Okay. And Duncan Robinson, like so many other pro athletes in the NBA, NFL, okay, they're using their experiences to help others. Duncan Robinson is calling for a better framework on mental health. Duncan says he had to be on the phone and talk to providers, hospitals, ER units, because not only was he a danger to himself, but to others. His brother Eli was. Basically, his brother Eli would retell his story to providers, hospitals, ER units, and this medicine does not work. This one does. No continuity. If I said that word right. So using their experiences to help others, they started the Robinson Family Foundation to utilize their personal experience in filling in the white spaces in the healthcare system, bridging those gaps so that families with members like Eli will find it easier to cope with their situation. Okay, and his brother Eli has schizophrenia. Okay, and again, Duncan will be playing with the Pistons for the 2025-2026 season. Okay, so using their experiences to help others. Okay. So I did that 2 years ago at the suicide prevention walk here in Memphis. All right. And I am just very blessed that God has blessed me to tell my story once again this year at the Memphis walk. Okay. Which will be in a few days. I'm very blessed that God has blessed me to tell my story to others again. Okay. And yeah, using my experiences to help others, just like Duncan. Okay. So yeah. All right. That's it. That's all with the Sean Farrell podcast. I am out of here. May God bless you all. Peace out. You matter. You are loved. You're more than enough. You are not a burden. And don't let anybody else ever tell you any differently. Peace.